Hey guys, want to show your support to the channel and get some awesome rewards at the same time? Then go check out my Patreon page where at whatever tier you choose that fits your budget, you'll get plenty of rewards such as updates and announcements on the regular, exclusive sneak peeks of my videos before they go up online, get yourself credited, and receive a special shout out at the end of my videos and more. Go to patreon.com/Ackleyattack44227 to start pledging today. And don't forget to also check out and consider gifting me any items I have listed on my Amazon wishlist and even supporting me on my Streamlabs tipping page that'll also help support the channel directly. Links are in the description box below as well as on my link tree for you to check out. Thank you and enjoy today's video. Take care. Hey guys, like what we do on our channel and want to see more videos from us? Then not to worry about a thing. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button as well as turning on the notification bell so that way you can see more of our videos coming up very soon. Thank you and enjoy today's video. Hey guys, this is Ackleyattack4427 here with a brand new thoughts video for all of you guys, and well, I guess pretty much if anything, I hope all of you guys are enjoying your first weekend of September as of now, and yeah, I know we've already gotten started right around nearly a week ago for sure, given to, of course, where we're at right now, or quite frankly, I think it's already been a week since after my last thoughts video that I did on the Toxic Avenger remake, and yeah. I guess pretty much from the looks of it, September has already begun not too long ago, and, well, I guess pretty much if anything, given to what I'm seeing right now, the leaves are starting to change color, meaning that fall is already on the horizon as we speak, and I guess if anything, all the kids are now back at school as we speak, so yeah. And, of course, for me personally, I think pretty much of anything, seeing how the summer season in terms of movies have already come to a close for, of course, this year. I'm quite curious to see what ones I'm actually going to be seeing for this fall currently for sure, so yeah. And, of course, quite frankly enough, with the one we're actually going to be starting off with for sure, well, I guess I know it's a little bit early for, of course, all the hands down. So how about we kickstart pretty much this month for sure with a little something more spooky, to say the least. Yeah, I'm not even joking on when I actually say it. We're not even close to the start of fall, nor even October, where Halloween is officially gonna pretty much gonna kick itself right into high gear for sure. And it looks like we're starting off the fall season right now with, of course, a horror movie for sure, so yeah. And given for the fact that I've seen plenty of other horror movies in the past for sure, maybe I guess it is kind of expecting when you really think about it. Lord knows the hag pretty much I am for sure, so yeah. I think it's what I can say, of course, that front. So I guess a lot of you guys may be wondering, what horror movie am I going to be looking at this time around? Well, I think we've been through quite a whole lot of horror movies. Some of the more recent ones that we actually got. Some are actually latest installments in ongoing horror franchises that really satisfy us in the best possible way. So I think maybe now's a good time for me to finally talk about one of the films in this ongoing series for sure, and, well, I guess better late than never, because this might as well be the last one for the time being, because, well, I guess pretty much with what it's been through, maybe I guess it is deserving of it nonetheless, but hey, like I said, better late than never, I assume, so yeah. Pretty much of anything, in regards to the horror movie I'm going to be looking at here today, how about, I guess, a little something from an ongoing, pretty much, well, a ghost movie. Yeah. yeah, pretty much just a regular old ghost movie for sure. But not just any ghost movie. Oh, no, no. How about, let's say, pretty much a ghost movie that is part of an ongoing series of some, pretty much, of some horror movies, and of course this ongoing universe that's been around for over a decade. That's actually based on a true story, or I guess in this case, multiple true stories that actually happened for sure. Yeah. I think that would get you the idea of course, what I'm talking about for sure, So yeah, but in case you're actually quite curious, I think it's time to get our spook factor right into high gear with, of course, the latest movie that I actually got to see not too long ago, which is none other than The Conjuring Last Rites. So yeah, that's of course what I'm going to be talking about here today. Not only is this the latest film that just came out not too long ago, but it's also the latest, and I guess quite frankly, the final installment as of now. And of course, the whole series of ghost horror flicks that we all know, which is of course the Conjuring universe for sure. So yeah, it's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Alright then, well, before I guess I could go ahead and talk about this latest movie, I think it makes sense to, brush myself up pretty much a bit with, of course, well, the Conjuring movies for sure, and let me level with you guys on one thing for sure. I've seen plenty of horror movies that I've overlooked in the past for sure. Some that actually really amazed me, while other times it took me by surprise. Or whichever way you prefer, hands down. But hey, as much as I actually do admire those pretty much past horror flicks that I could list at the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure they'll take up the whole video. There's no doubt in my mind that the one horror franchise that I have overlooked by far in recent years is, of course, the Conjuring movies for sure. And yeah, I guess quite frankly, when it comes to the Conjuring movies, they're actually surprisingly interesting when you think about it. I mean, really think about this for a second. Yeah, even though a lot of people view them as just regular old ghost movies for sure, they actually are actually quite interesting, seeing of how they have been based on true events that actually happened, revolving around paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Waring, to which, if you actually know their stories, hands down, they actually are the most recognizable when it comes to investigating anything that is in fact paranormal for sure. So yeah. Which is why, actually, pretty much not just The Conjuring, but also pretty much another recognizable paranormal ghost story that we all know, which is, of course, the Amityville Horror, actually really does signify, of course, the pretty much those two rather quite well when you think about it. But hey, I'm pretty much keeping my focus mainly on the Conjuring movies for sure, because yeah, there's a whole lot of them by far, and of course their ongoing series of movies they've put out for sure. So I'll definitely go through my quick analysis, of course, pretty much all the past ones to get you guys up to speed for sure. I won't go into too much depth on them, but I'll give my quick analysis on, of course, all of them for sure. Pretty much the first two Conjuring movies, to which I know is directed by James Wan, I really enjoyed, hands down. I think they really did an incredible job with what they actually did to capture the true events that actually happened, but also give us a pretty good scare for sure. Well, I guess the third film, The Devil Made Me Do It, I think it's kind of middle of the road, of course, on my part for sure. And of course, for the two spin-off series to, of course, the main Conjuring movies for sure, like, of course, Annabelle, yeah, the entire Annabelle trilogy. Well, quite frankly, I'm not really a big fan of course, the first Annabelle movie, but I really do admire its prequel, Annabelle Creation, and of course, the follow-up, Annabelle Comes Home. I kind of thought was alright for sure, and as for the pretty much the other spin-off being The Nun alongside its sequel, The Nun 2, I didn't particularly care for them, to be honest, for sure, so yeah, that's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front, and yeah, it's pretty much my short analysis on all the other past Conjuring movies that came beforehand, for sure. I haven't even delved into some of the ones that are released outside of course, the Conjuring films, that but does have a bit of a tie-in, for sure. But I'm gonna save that for another time, hands down, so. But yeah, either way, it's pretty much what I can say for all the Conjuring movies, in my opinion, for sure. So I guess given to that thought, I'm quite curious to see on how the new movie will actually fare up in comparison to the past ones that we got beforehand. And for this to advertise itself as being the final Conjuring movie to be released for the time being, I do hope it will go out in pretty much a clever note that might actually be quite fascinating, so yeah, that's pretty much what I can say on that. So I managed to get myself in to officially go and see this movie not too long ago, all thanks to the kind people at Crown City Cinemas. As always, you guys rock, so yeah. And of course, I did manage to get myself in to see this movie, and well, now that I've officially got back from, of course, seeing it, I guess a lot of you guys may be wondering, what do I think of this movie now that I finally got the chance to see it? Well, I'm not gonna lie. I think this film it's actually alright in my opinion, so yeah, I can't necessarily say this movie is by all means great, but it's not terrible either. I think it's actually an alright flick in my opinion, for sure, and yeah, I guess given to what I've actually seen, I think they ended these movies off on a pretty decent note, pretty much from what I've actually seen, for sure, so yeah, I can't say this movie is by all means fantastic, but thank God it's not awful, for sure. I think it's just alright in my opinion, for sure, so yeah, it's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Alright. Alrighty then, well, now that I've officially got the short version out of the way, I guess I'll go ahead and talk about everything I need to talk about, for sure. For starters is, of course, the story, and yeah, honestly, to me, I really do think the story in this movie is structured out pretty fine, for sure. Again, it's pretty much corresponding with pretty much a real-life investigation that the Warrens actually pretty much did years ago, for sure. Much like all the other films that feature them, for sure, and yeah, and I guess much like any other biopic, hands down, despite the fact that they might have gotten a few things wrong, for sure, I really do think they really have a lot going for, hands down, to really capture, of course, what really happened back then, for sure, and they actually did it in a way that I really that for while I do think some parts of it I think could have been cut out entirely, I really do think they have a lot going for hands down to try its best to be a little bit more intriguing, for sure. So yeah, I wouldn't necessarily say that it's by all means fantastic, for sure, but I really do think they have a lot going for hands down, and I really do think they have a lot of a commitment to actually make this one work, for sure. So yeah, I guess it's pretty much what I can say for the story, and of course this movie, for sure. So yeah, I really do like what they were going for, but maybe I think they could have actually reworked it a bit to make it a little bit more interesting at the same time. So yeah, and as for the writing, I have to say, well, that too alone is also done very decently for sure. Yeah, I guess some parts in the writing I really do think are actually well crafted, but other times I just kind of felt pretty much some parts of it just absolutely goes nowhere for sure, and I'm not really getting myself intrigued, of course, so on what's been happening throughout the course of the movie for sure, and I really do think they should have actually gone for something a bit more drastic with what it's actually providing, hands down. But again, that doesn't make it awful for sure. Again, some parts of it I really do think are actually written out quite well. But I really do think they could have actually done something a bit more to make it all the more engaging for sure. So yeah, that's pretty much all I can say for the writing on that front. So yeah, I guess with what I've said with the story and the writing for sure, yeah, I really do like what they were actually going for, but maybe I think a few tweaks here and there could have actually made it all the more engaging for sure, but hey, maybe it's just me talking for sure, so yeah, it's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Okay, I guess I'm done with that. Alright then, well, now that I've officially got those two out of the way, I guess I'll go ahead and talk about the next couple of things I need to talk about for sure, to which next up is, of course, the characters, and yeah, honestly, I think from what I've actually seen, I think for the characters from what I've actually seen, yeah, I really do think they are actually fine enough for sure. Again, pretty much really taking on, of course, the real-life figures that pretty much happened within this true story that it's actually trying to tell, and yeah, some of them I will have to say really do stand out for sure, but other times I just wish they could have actually done something to make them all the more interesting for sure, let alone at least likable, hands down, so yeah, but I'm not saying they're giving a bad development, hands down. Some of them I do think are actually pretty decent for sure, so yeah, but either way, I really do think they have a lot going for, hands down, to really try to make pretty much the characters all the more likable, almost like I want to root for them for what they're actually trying to do, and I guess for a while, some parts of it, I really do think they accomplished quite well. Other times, I think they could have done a whole lot more for sure, So yeah, that's pretty much what I can say for the characters. Now, as for the actors that came on board to play all these characters, yeah, I will have to say, if there's one bright side that I can say about this movie, I really do think the acting in this film is actually pretty damn good for sure, So yeah, I really do think with pretty much the actors they brought on to play the characters, yeah, I really do think they pulled off some pretty good performances that I really do love and admire for sure. They really have a lot going for to really make them pretty much stand out for sure, and even the commitment they actually did for each and every single performance, I really do think they actually have a lot going for sure that I really could get behind all the ways, so yeah. I guess despite a few flaws here and there, I really do think the acting in this film is actually pretty good, and I really do think they really did a good job by far with what it's trying to do, and I do applaud this movie for actually doing exactly that for sure, So yeah, that's pretty much what I can say for the characters and the actors for sure. Yeah, I will admit, for a while, I guess the characters could have done a whole lot more to actually make them more interesting for sure. I do applaud the actors for giving off some pretty good performances for sure, and I really do admire on what they actually did, hands down, so yeah, it's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Alright. Alrighty then, well, now that I've officially got those two out of the way, what else is there for me to talk about? Quite a whole lot, actually, so yeah. Well, much like every other horror movie, hands down, I think we might as well talk about the next couple of aspects when it comes to a horror movie for sure, and that being, of course, the tone and atmosphere for sure. So yeah, if you know me, hands down, that when it comes to horror movies, hands down, the tone and atmosphere are the most essential parts if you really want to make a horror movie stand out for sure. So yeah, and I guess for the sake of this movie, yeah, I guess another bright side I will have to say regarding this movie for sure is that I really do think the tone and atmosphere is actually done pretty well for sure. Again, seeing how they really want to go for a more, pretty much more traditional route by actually trying to mix things up a bit for a regular old ghost story for sure. I think pretty much of anything, the tone and atmosphere really has a lot going for hands down that I really do think actually have a lot of effort being put into, of course, this one for sure. And yeah, I really do think they really stand out quite well for sure. That I really do think they really put a lot of hard-working effort on from what I've actually seen. And yeah, literally from what I've actually seen, I think with pretty much a good number of areas being so dark and gritty, hands down, I think he actually fits in quite well with, of course, pretty much with the stress and anxiety going on with the characters to even the creep factor to all the ghosts and ghouls and even the demons that are actually yeah, that pretty much our characters are trying to overcome for sure, both physically and mentally. So yeah, I think they really did an incredible job, of course, on that front. And plus, I will have to say, a good number of scares, I will have to say, I really do think are actually quite nicely done for sure. Yeah, I think with, of course, what they've actually done to correspond everything else that I've actually talked about for sure, you really do feel pretty much the anxiety that you're going for whenever something creepy or scary actually pops up for sure. And even the good number of jump scares from what I've actually seen, for while I do think some parts of them could have been a whole lot more pretty much, yeah, could have actually put in a whole lot more hard-working effort, and even some that I think are way too overdone for sure. I really do think they have a good number of creativity, hands down, that would not only pretty much, I guess, pretty much frightened up, and whenever pretty much the jump scare actually happens, it actually does do an incredible job scaring you, hands down. But hey, I guess if anything, in a really good horror movie for sure, for while jump scares will actually be quite nice, but I think it's best if you don't go overboard with them for sure, because yeah, if you pretty much leave about 90% of your movie with nothing but jump scares, with, of course, pretty much a ghost or ghoul or anything that a horror movie would actually feature going bah! Yeah, for the first time it will actually get you quite well, but as it goes on, it'll start to pretty much start to get very tiring for sure. But yeah, either way, I guess for the sake of this movie, I really do like, of course, the nice balance they actually dig for sure. So whenever something scary actually pops up for sure, it actually would do that. But it also knows pretty much to actually put in some breathing room, hands down, to help calm someone down for sure. So yeah, I think it's what I can say, of course, that front. I mean, hey, if I would have brought my family members with me to see this movie, I think I know my mom would, of course, pretty much rush out of the theater because she couldn't handle it, and I think my grandmother would, of course, pretty much get herself a heart attack if, of course, a jump scare happens, pretty much almost like, oh, jeez! So, yeah. But hey, I only saw this movie on my own for sure, so no real harm done for sure, so yeah, I think it's what I can say, of course, that aspect for sure. So I guess moving on for sure is that, well, pretty much, if anything, pretty much for the production design of course, this movie, I really do think they did an incredible job with, of course, what I've actually seen with the production design for sure. All of it, pretty much from what I'm seeing with the setting for this movie being taking place somewhere in the 1980s, for sure. I really do think they really did an impressive job in capturing that time period quite well, for sure. That I really do think is actually really admirable, for sure. And yeah. And even the set pieces, I have to say, are actually very creative from what I've actually seen. And I really do think they really have a lot going for hands down to really making it look good. And even the visuals and the effects, I have to say, is also done marvelously for sure. Yeah, you can tell there's a whole lot of hard-working effort they did to make this movie look good, hands down, and I think they really did accomplish that quite well from what I've actually seen, so yeah, that's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Now, for the direction in this film from the film's director, well, I mean, it's not bad per se, but not really that great either. I mean, I can tell with the film's director, I really do think he really has a lot going for to actually put in some effort in a good number of areas. But at the same time, I just wish he could have done a whole lot more to really stand out quite well for sure. But either way, that doesn't make it great for sure. But again, not terrible. Just a little something that I wish could have been a whole lot more thought and creativity being put into it for sure. So yeah. And of course, the cinematography, I have to say, yeah, I guess pretty much vaguely, I really do think the cinematography in this film is actually pretty good, hands down. So yeah, I can tell with, of course, what I've actually seen. I really do think they did an incredible job with each and every single camera shot they actually put into it for sure. That I really do think is actually really admirable from what I've actually seen. And I really do think they did a good job with the cinematography for sure. And I really do think it's actually very nice from what I've actually seen. So yeah, that's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front for sure. And again, for the editing, I have to say, as another aspect, well, not too long is also cut up fine for sure. I just wish there could have been some that could have been cut out to help save the running time for sure. But again, I really do think some bits and pieces, I really do think are alright for what it is, and I think it actually also matches just fine with, of course, the film's pacing at the same time. So, to which again, that alone is also done very decently for sure. And again, I really do admire on what they've actually done to try to make it stand out quite well for sure. So yeah, either way, I think it's what I can say for all those for sure, and I think it will get you the idea on how I felt about this movie for sure. So yeah, it's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Alright then, well, I guess with all that said and done, that's pretty much everything that I can say about this movie as a whole for sure. So yeah, overall, The Conjuring Last Rites, well, I don't necessarily think it's actually that great for sure, but it's not terrible either. I guess pretty much of anything. It is a decent enough horror flick on its own, and for this being a part of the Conjuring universe, hands down, I really do think for this to advertise itself as being the final one for the time being, I think they actually did ending off on a pretty decent note, hands down. Again, for while I do think some parts of it could have used a little work here and there, and I just felt some parts of it really don't stand out quite well as I hoped it would be. But some other ones, I will have to admit, are actually very nicely done for sure, and I really really do love, of course, the commitment they actually did to really make this work for sure. To which, yeah, at the end of the day, it doesn't make it awful for sure, but not that great either. So yeah. I know that's saying a whole lot, given to most of my reactions towards the other Conjuring films for sure, but I guess it is pretty much the case for, of course, this movie for sure, so yeah. And I guess for the time being, I guess it is definitely for the best that these movies actually come to a close for sure, because, yeah, I really do think it is actually a pretty decent one for them to go out on for sure. Now, I could be wrong in actually saying it because, well, you may never know if of course, they might do another one of them for sure. Like, I highly doubt pretty much another sequel, but maybe a possible future spin-off movie as well, but I guess we can't guarantee that for sure because, well, we may never know what will come up, hands down, so... But I guess for the time being, I guess in regards to this movie, if that's something that you can actually stomach for sure, then I say this movie might be worth the time for sure. So yeah, I can't necessarily say it's a great movie for sure, but I'm glad to say that it's not awful for sure. I do think it's actually a decent enough horror flick on its own, and pretty much a fine final entry to, of course, the Conjuring universe for sure. And that's okay in my book, so yeah, that's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. So yeah, for my final score, yeah, I guess I'm trying my best to be fair, of course, this one, and, well, I guess for what it is, I'll give this movie like a 5.5 out of 10 as my final score. Like I said, I really don't think it's actually that great for sure, but it's not terrible either. I just think it's actually a fine enough movie for what it is, and for this to be the last Conjuring movie to be released as of now, I think they actually ended these movies off on a pretty decent enough note for sure, and that's okay in my book, hands down, so yeah, I guess pretty much either way, it's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front, and yeah, I guess for me to finally take a look at one of these films for sure, I'm glad to see I finally got the Conjuring off my chest for sure, in terms of several movies that I've overlooked, hands down, and yeah, for while I guess there are some parts, there are quite a few in this whole series of movies that I really am not the biggest fans for, hands down, while some of the other ones, including this one, I just kind of thought are just okay for what they are. I will admit, I guess there are three, pretty much, three movies in, of course, the Conjuring universe that I really do admire for sure, those being Annabelle Creation and, of course, the Conjuring 1 and 2 for sure, so yeah, I guess pretty much of anything, I really do think those are the only three that I really do admire, of course, these whole series of movies, while the rest, well, I guess I'm pretty much split down the middle on, and I guess for a few that I've actually seen, I never really cared for sure. But I'm really glad that I got those movies off my chest for sure, and I think, and I guess with what I've had to endure with, of course, this movie, I really do think it's a decent one to kick off the fall season for sure in terms of movies, and like I said, given to what I've actually said about this movie, that's okay in my book, hands down, so yeah, it's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Alright then, well, now, I guess with all that said and done, that's pretty much everything that I can say about this movie for sure, so yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this latest thoughts video, and by all means, I want to ask all of you guys, what do you think of The Conjuring Last Rites? If you've actually seen it for yourself, do you absolutely really enjoy it? Do you think it's on par of some of the other ones that you've actually seen? Or do you absolutely hate it and think it's actually as worse as some of the other weaker entries in, of course, this whole series of movies? Or are you somewhere in between, like I am, and just think it's alright for what it is? So yeah, let me know down in the comments down below on what you thought of this movie, if you've actually seen it for yourself. I would love to know on what you guys think, so yeah, that's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Thank you guys so much for watching this latest thoughts video, and, well, now that I finally got pretty much a Conjuring movie off my chest, and, well, it took me long enough to finally get around to seeing one of them for sure. I might as well set my eyes on possibly some other horror movies that are coming out that might pique my interest more. But I'm not going to say which ones for sure, but you'll definitely see within the next few months for sure. But until that actually happens, thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Special thanks to all of my supporters on Patreon for making today's video possible, including my top tier supporters for this month, VD. So if you want to be like these guys and show your support to us, then go to patreon.com/Ackleyattack447 to pledge now, do so, and get some awesome rewards within your budget. Hey guys, this is Ackleyattack4427 here. Thank you all so much for watching today's video. Feel free to like, comment, and share if you enjoy what you're seeing. If you like what you see here and want to see more videos coming up, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button and switch on the notification bell to get notifications, and select all notifications to be notified for when we post a new video. And don't forget to switch on notifications on your phone as well. Also, don't forget to check out my second channel and our 2-member channel with Sam the Thomas Fan 1, SamAttack4427'The''ThomasFan1 Productions, for plenty more content you can't find on here. You can check both of our channels out with the links or by our handles provided on screen. Feel free to shoot me an email with my email address provided, backley95@hotmail.com, if you want to ask me a question, want to collab with me for a project you've got in the works, or if you want to book me to be featured for a convention coming up. Follow me on my social media pages on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to keep up to date with me on updates, announcements, and new releases of my videos, as well as plenty of others I've got with my handles provided, as well as the links down in the description box below. Also, don't forget to follow me on TikTok for other videos I've got aside from the ones I've posted on YouTube, and on Twitch for any future live streams I've got coming up soon, as well as join our official Discord server to see what we've provided. If you wish to show your support to me, then feel free to check out my Patreon to get sneak peeks of my videos coming up before they go up online, as well as getting access to updates and playing more, in addition to getting some awesome rewards within your budget. Also, don't forget to check out and show your support to me on my wishlist on Amazon, and even supporting me at streamlabs.com/AckleyattackTV/tip that you can find in the description box below, as well as on my Twitch page. And in case you can't find any of the links that are provided, then not to worry about a thing. All the links and stuff are also provided on my link tree that you can also find in the description box below, as well as a few selected number of my social media pages. Other than that, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll be sure to see you in the next video. Take care.